Today we build my new custom keyboard. With a high quality finish and layers to craft a custom sound, it's well known as a good value buy. But with software quirks, I don't know why keyboard companies do this, and minimal documentation, it's not okay to presume that the customer just knows what it's for. I just hope it performs well in the latency testing for gaming to earn a spot on my desk. What I got myself into. This is the multi-mode wireless version of the very popular M1 from OneSgeek. Oh, that's beautiful. Crisp white, coiled cable, purple dongle. Oh, get out of town. That's a stunner. Clear anodized aluminium. There's something about it. I just got a crush on it at the moment, guys. I've read some of they've updated the encoder here, and this is just so smooth. Gee, she's heavy. It's a big old block of aluminium, all CNC top plate. Even this like chamfer around the USB-C port, it's just sparkling. All right, let's open her up. The USB-C daughter board has a nice injection molded tip that fits snug into its CNC port. The edges are gold anodized aluminium with rubber adhered to the inside edge that made contact with the circuit board. The keyboard is suspended by rubber gasket mounts to provide some flex and further reduce hard surface contact. If we unscrew the PCB from the positioning plate, we can see all the layers in this keyboard. Starting from the bottom case, we have a VHP insulation layer to protect from short circuits, a 3mm piece of pour-on foam, the PCB itself, IXPE switch padding under more pour-on foam, a gasket-mounted polycarbonate positioning plate, and then our aluminium top plate and knob. There are two things included in the box. One is a big-ass sticker. Now, this would be applied to the base of the PCB. You'd stick it on here. It's known as the tape mod. In previous videos, you've seen me use painter's tape, just a blue tape over PCB. And doing this helps limit high-pitched frequencies from reflecting off the base of the keyboard and then back up towards you. However, the only guide I can find in the box is this quick start guide, and there is no mention of what this is for. And the same goes for these stickers. I presume it's a force break mod where you want to put something soft between the two hard metal layers. Normally I use painter's tape again, but they include these stickers and there's no mention in any of the documentation here. It's not okay to presume that the customer just knows what it's for, because OneSgeek's like a big brand. Like, these are sold in stores in Australia. So someone could buy this off the shelf, bring it home, unbox it, and now they're questioning, what do I do with this? I find it odd that they give you a custom piece of masking tape, but don't cut pass-throughs for the cables, especially because when I went to put it back together, it wouldn't sit right. And then I discovered there's little like standoffs at each corner of the PCB, which then meant I had to also manually cut 4 holes just to get it to sit properly. That's huge. None of which is documented in the manual. The bottom case foam is also shorter than the case itself, so you also need to make sure that its cutouts are properly aligned with the standoffs. Peeling off the anti-scratch coating, we can apply the Teflon rubber pads. Now, these will reduce metal-on-metal contact, providing a deeper sound. All right, it's now time for switches. These mechanical switches are known as AJAS Kiwis, and they are a tactile switch. So there's a physical bump that you need to press through at the actuation point where the switch actually sends a keystroke. I like tactile, so it has the bump, but I don't like clicky, which means it makes a loud click as it goes through the bump. A lot of gamers actually prefer something like this Gateron Yellow, or it's linear, so it's smooth all the way through, making for minimal resistance when trying to press down a switch. You can spend a lot of time researching to find the best switch, but ultimately, you just gotta figure out if you like linear or if you like tactile, and that only happens by trying each one. I only pulled this apart to show you the inside layers, but if you're just building the keyboard and didn't want to do those little mods, you can go unbox and go straight into putting your switches into the keyboard. And that's it. That's how simple it is to build a keyboard. Keyboards like this have Kailh hot swappable PCB mounts, meaning you can just take the switch and push it straight into the PCB, and it's done. Honestly, I find the process to be quite therapeutic. It's time for keycaps. Oi, I bought these in Taiwan. We wandered down the street and there was just strips of like computer part stores and everything you could want. And one shop had a stack of keyboard parts. And it wasn't even until I picked up the set from Ducky that I noticed that it's actually a Taiwanese company. I don't know if you've noticed, mate, but there are no letters. What do I got myself into? I guess I just need to find the highest keycaps in the set because that'll be the top row. Oh, it's got like a letter on the inside of the keycap. There are 4 different angles for height, so R1 to 4. So for the 75% layout, as the rows go, it's R1, R1, R2, R3, R4, R4. I never had to think about that for keyboard layouts because I just put the correct letter where it's meant to go. Final one, the space bar. Oh, what? Yo, absolutely impractical, but so clean. Oh yeah, let's plug it in. So I've just installed the software. Firstly, what even is this logo? It doesn't match the logo that's on their website. Like when you're installing random software, it doesn't breed confidence, right? First thing I don't like is they've used a photo of the keyboard, which means if we change what a key does, so if I say I want the page up to now be stop, it still says page up. You have to click on it to see that it actually has changed to stop. I don't know why keyboard companies do this. Now, my problem with the stock 75% layout is that this key is actually the delete key on pretty much every other keyboard. So I can say I want this page up to be a delete key, confirm. Because they've opted to use a photo, there's just invisible buttons over the volume knob. So turn left, click, and turn right. By default, it controls volume levels, but a press will toggle to brightness mode, which is LED dimming. If we go to function row, you can see they've also highlighted red, the ones you can't change because they are system specific keys, which is good. It would be better for when I clicked on a red system key, it actually told me what it did instead of having to go dive into the manual to figure it out. So they've consumed the entire 4 keys on the side here, RGB lighting. I don't know if that's a misprint, but it's not even in order. It's like home, page up, jump down to the bottom to end, and then it continues on the page down to go from effect 1 through to effect 20. Even just hijacking the arrows, like function up for page up and function down for page down is so nice. My laptop has that. Can't make it with this. Apparently there's a VIA version of this board on the way, so I wonder if that will give you more customizability. Can I just click and drag? Ooh, paint it up. The RGBs are actually really nice, smooth animations. They're a good brightness. It's also got a really nice macro recorder. I can save that, whack it on a key, and now if I press the key, it types subscribe. End of the day, the software does its job, so let's check out the wireless modes. When running wireless from the 6,000 milliamp hours of built-in battery, you can expect up to 150 days runtime with the LEDs off. At least that's what the Monsgeek website says, because the retailers I've looked at state 25 days. So there's a big difference between the manufacturer and retailer websites. At least they all say 8 days with RGB on. You need to remove the caps lock key to access the battery power switch. Switching up goes into Mac mode, making the system keys work with Mac OS, and down will go into Windows mode, making them work for Windows. Holding function and then pressing either E, R, or T toggles between the 3 paired Bluetooth devices, so you can easily switch between like a computer, tablet, or phone. Holding function and then Y will switch to the 2.4 gigahertz dongle. Now this should be a lot faster than Bluetooth. So I built this device named Speedy Kiwi. It allows me to find which of the 3 connection modes on the M1W is the fastest, which is important for gaming. It uses a relay to trick the keyboard into thinking a key was pressed, and then I wrote a script to detect the latency. So how long does it take for my computer to receive that input? The Monsgeek software has 10 levels of key sensitivity. But what does that mean? Okay, so when you press a mechanical key switch, 2 pieces of metal touch together. However, they ever so slightly bounce apart and then reconnect. Now, processors are so fast, they pick up on this and would send 2 keystrokes, even though you only press the key once. So the keyboards run a debounce algorithm to eliminate multiple keystrokes being sent by accident. Depending on the switches that you choose to install in your build, they may be more prone to bouncing for a longer period of time, sending double or triple keystrokes when you press it just once. So by default, the input slider is at 1, which is around 11 milliseconds on wide mode. And as you increase the sensitivity, it actually brings it up to around 30 milliseconds of latency because the keyboard is now waiting longer to ensure that there's no more bouncing happening before sending the next keystroke. I've had no issues with the default key sensitivity 1 with the Ajaz Kiwi switches. The tester is programmed to send 10 keystrokes so we can see the variations of each mode. The results are to be expected, with wide being the fastest, followed by the wireless dongle, on average 2.5 milliseconds slower, and then Bluetooth mode being the worst with quite large spike. Having seen that there is an advantage for running wide mode when gaming, I would recommend doing so. However, I won't be gaming with this keyboard. I'm going to stick with the Leoborg Hi 75. It is consistently faster than the Monsgeek M1W and may sound better. Oh man, the marbly sound of this Hi 75 is so good. So I want to see how close we can make this sound to that keyboard. This is all Ajaz Kiwis. We'll then switch out and do some with Temu Pandas and some with Gateron Yellows. Now let's remove that tape mod. Just for lols, I'm gonna take out the bottom layer of pour-on foam. I know, dude, this Leobog High 75 for the price, bro, it just blows it out, eh? Now my High 75 is using a Temu Pandas, but there wasn't a big difference between them and the Ajaz Kiwis when we tested with the M1W. But what is different is it has a slotted PCB and slotted positioning plate that is foam gasket mounted, so it's a lot more flexible than the M1W, which must help get that marbly sound that I prefer. You can also further customize the sound and feel of the M1W with an aftermarket positioning plate direct from Monski. Or do nothing and just buy a fully assembled keyboard. They sell one, has switches, keycaps, out the box, good to go. I've read a 1-star review about this keyboard saying that it was missing the bonus TPU double shot stabilizers. And you know what? Mine is too. So I'll reach out to Banggood, the supplier that sent me this keyboard for review, and see what they say. They've also given me a discount code so you can purchase it at a cheaper price. I am surprised to see that Monsgeek only added $10 to the retail price over the non-wireless version. They've added a 6,000 milliamp hour battery, a 2.4 gigahertz dongle, plus the circuitry to make it wireless. And the price only increased by $10. Personally, I would hold off until the QMK version that has VIA compatibility is launched, because I like to better customize all of these side keys and the arrows. And with this version and their software, currently it doesn't. All right, that's it. If you liked this video, thumbs up. If you loved it, sub it. And I'll catch you in the next part of the desk build, center panel. Bye.